What is going on, everybody, and welcome to a brand new video on the channel. My name is Sean, aka Elite, and today we've got the new FIFA 21 gameplay trailer, which is big news. That's the biggest release we've had for FIFA 21 news so far, because in the last trailer, sure, we had gotten introduced to some things, but 80% of it was famous footballers like MBAPPE, João Felix, and Erling Haaland messing about on their controllers. We're not really getting much info on FIFA 21. We got a couple celebrations. Eric Cantona was an icon, but overall we didn't get a lot. Today, we're getting a lot on gameplay. And that's what we're going to be focusing on. And I'm going to give my critiques on it too, because there are some promising things that look like they could be good. But when you're watching this, knowing how bad gameplay has been in the last few years, with different things being broken every year, you kind of have to watch with a speculative eye and wonder, how could EA mess this up? Because if they can, they kind of have a tendency to do so. So hopefully they get it right. But we also have to look at the things that they could get wrong. So let's go ahead and hop into the trailer right now, guys. And if you've been enjoying the FIFA 21 content that I've been bringing, make sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the gameplay trailer, which I've watched once through right when it was released. This is my second time watching it through, so it's still relatively first impressions on it. And I'm going to go ahead and let it play out through the different sections, and then I'll talk about it while I pause.
Better scoring opportunities and player-controlled runs. Last season, dynamic one-on-ones.
So here's the first new thing.
1v1 battles. In FIFA 21, agile dribbling lets you unleash your creativity to go past the defender. Show off some fast footwork to leave them lost for words. Hold down the right shoulder button and use the left stick to get close control over the ball. See how Sterling uses his quick feet to take it around the defender and lays off that perfect through ball. Or do it in style with the new skill moves like the bridge dribble and the ball roll fake to explode past defenders. And in defense, counter the oncoming attacker by using your muscle to stop them in their tracks.
All right, so that's agile dribbling, and they did give a couple hints to where, yeah, the agile dribbling is going to be good. It's going to be something you want to use. You've got the players like Messi, Mbappe, Bernardo Silva, Raheem Sterling that we saw here. It seems a little bit overpowered. It seems like it could be very good. The last time we saw this was FIFA 16, where dribbling was ridiculously good. And in a couple of FIFAs, you saw the strafe dribble was really, really good. And they kind of nerfed it in the last two FIFAs, but it's been very good in the past, and it seems like they might be bringing it back. You're playing as a defender. Take it from a defender's perspective. You've got the player in front of you. You're in a good position. But you've got somebody like Bernardo Silva going back and forth, back and forth. It could make it very, very hard to defend against them and very annoying to defend against them. So hopefully it's not too overpowered. And then with the strength, hopefully the defenders can even it out a little bit. They did hint towards the strength being the counter to agile dribbling towards the end of that. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it's not too overpowered. And then with those two skill moves that they introduced, the bridge dribbling and then that turn that João Felix did, those are probably going to be some things that you need to learn, because when they introduce new skill moves, they tend to make them a little bit better than the skill moves that have been in previous years. So definitely when you get the beta and when you get the demo, start practicing those skill moves.
In past seasons, you rely on the AI to make the right runs off the ball. Now you've got more control over your attacker's movement in the build-up. Get inventive and control your teammates' runs with directed pass and go and directed runs. Watch how a tap on the left bumper and a flick of the right stick sends Salah into space before he dispatches the return. Or lock onto one player to take matters into your own hands.
All right, so with the different creative runs, I think it's brilliant. You tap on the analog stick, they make a run in that direction. That is something we need. There's really no downside to that. It really adds more of a skill gap to the game. When you know when to make those runs, when you know who to, which direction to point your runners, and to be able to play those passes through, it really creates more of a control on your attack. And if you took a shot every time they said the word control or creativity, I mean, you'd be dead by the end of this trailer. But really, like, it does add more control on those passes. The problem I saw with those creative runs was with the passes. Defensively, you've got those small little gaps between your players that are going to be much easier to play through as an attacker, which means that it's going to be harder to defend, because if you've got two players right beside each other, it doesn't mean they can't shoot it or pass it in between them now. It seems like it's a lot easier to pass in between players, so if you're standing in a spot that seems like it's a good position to cut off a pass, it might not do so much this year. There's a good thing and a bad thing to that. One, it could make defending really annoying. You could position yourself perfectly and not get rewarded. But two, it could make the game more attacking and counter what we saw in FIFA 20. Drop back, one depth, so defensive, boring games. If it's more attacking, the game's probably going to be more fun. I'd rather the game end 4-2, 4-3, something like that, than 1-0 with the exact same players that we saw in FIFA 20. So hopefully it does become a little bit more attacking, but not ridiculous to where it's just annoying to play defense.
The world's best players are always in the right place at the right time. Now they have that same level of positional awareness in FIFA. World-class forwards like Sergio Aguero hold their runs to stay onside. Creative playmakers like Kevin De Bruyne find the spaces to play those incisive through balls. Midfielders like Fabinho shut off passing lanes. And defensive giants like Van Dijk block more effectively when they get in the way of shots and crosses.
That was pretty short in the trailer, but there was a lot to take in there. And a lot of things that, again, if EA don't balance it correctly, could be a problem. The blocking, I mean, you're going to see a couple players, probably like Van Dijk, who are just ridiculous at blocking passes and blocking shots. And that could very well get annoying as well. I mean, these changes they seem drastic in the trailer. We seem like we're going to get a very different video game, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. It's just I worry about the balance. That's all I'm saying. Trust me, I might sound like I'm critiquing this a little bit too hard. I'm just worried about the balance, and that's all I'm saying.
FIFA 21 also smooths out those defense v attack free-for-alls when the ball goes loose in the box with a refreshed collision system. Now you'll see less falling over and more natural outcomes when players fight to be first to the ball.
That's good. There's nothing bad about that. There's nothing bad about that. I'm hoping that when you make tackles, the ball goes to you more times than not. We saw an improvement in FIFA 20, I will not lie. FIFA 20, you steal the ball, if you're on the side of them, they seem to stumble a lot, and then you get the ball. Okay? Where in previous FIFAs they wouldn't stumble, they get the ball right back. So they made a little bit of an improvement this year in FIFA 20 for, getting the ball when you make a good tackle. But it's still not good enough. So hopefully this is that next step to where you make a tackle, you get the ball, it doesn't bounce back to the attacker so many times. Because we still see it in FIFA 20. Even if it's a little less than it was in 19 and 18, it still bounces back to the attacker way, way too much. And hopefully the deflections off of the goalkeeper don't attach to the attackers like they did at the beginning of 20, because they patched that, and it was one of the only things that they patched that actually got better. Most of the things they patched in 20 got worse. That, on the deflections from the goalkeeper, that when they parry the ball and they go right to the attacker, the rebounds, that got better after patch. So hopefully that stays the same, while you also get the ball more when you actually make a good tackle.
The fundamentals includes your feedback to unlock creativity in FIFA 21. Switch on new manual headers and send headed shots and passes exactly where you're aiming. Dispatch the ball into space for your teammate to run onto with more effective long through balls. Master those skills? Competitor mode gives you an idea of what it's like to play onto with more.
Here's something I noticed about this little clip right here just now. Take a look at the guy who is controlling blue. Because EA have been really highlighting the attackers in this video, in this trailer, which is fine, but you still can notice some things about defenders that could definitely be better. You see this pass going out wide. He, right here, is the person you want to focus on.
Into space.
You can see he knows the run's happening. He starts moving backwards. The next player that it's going to switch to is going to be him. Right when it switches, it stops him. for a second, right?
More effective.
And then it keeps running. It allows the attacker to get forward while this player seems glitchy. You switch to him, he stops, and then he goes, right? You don't want that to happen. You switch, he slows down, and then he goes. That's something that I noticed right there, because as a FIFA player, you're going to notice those kind of things in the trailers that a casual player is not going to. And I think this trailer is definitely catered to the casual player to get them buying FIFA, because if you're a hardcore FIFA fan, you're buying FIFA anyway. All right, let's face it. I'm buying the game no matter what's in this trailer, right? So they're going to cater to the casual player. But the veteran FIFA player is going to notice those things. You can already see something a little bit broken right there. Like, why would that happen? Why would he slow down? Because he's already got momentum going that way, just like the player in white does. There's no reason he should slow down and let the attacker get so far behind him right there.
Through balls. Master those skills? Competitor mode gives you an idea of what it's like to play against the best FIFA players in the world, giving your opponent better skill moves, dribbling, and all-round tactical awareness, so you can take it beyond legendary. But don't worry if you miss your chance. Have another go at striking it just right with new gameplay rewinds in kickoff mode for a second shot at perfection. That's a quick tour of some of the biggest features coming to gameplay in FIFA 21.
Nothing in that last section is going to be notable. Nothing there. The replay seems like a good idea, but it's only in kickoff. How many games of kickoff did you play in FIFA 20 in comparison to other game modes? Maybe 0.1% of games, right? Every time you go to your friend's house, you might want to play kickoff. But how often is that replay system going to come in handy? All right, when you're playing against a bot at the beginning of the game, when it comes out, if you want to practice for 1 or 2 games, that replay thing it's going to be useless. It's never going to be used. And then for the what was it called? The competitor mode. It seems like it's an offline game mode. It's going to be similar to squad battles, but without the rewards. Again, not something to be excited about.
With new gameplay rewinds in kickoff mode for a second shot at perfection. That's a quick tour of some of the biggest features coming to gameplay in FIFA 21. With the all-new attacking system, smarter positioning, better scoring opportunities, and player control.
Something I didn't mention earlier was about the smarter positioning. When your player is making a run in behind, like the Aguero that it mentioned earlier, and he's slowing down his run so he stays on side, that's something that I've wanted in FIFA for a very long time, so I'm glad that they've added that. It's something that really annoys me, that you have the ball, and they're making a run, and then Martin Tyler says, he might have wanted that a second earlier, you know? But why not make the run a little bit more diagonal or slow it down so I can get that pass off when I want to? Because sometimes they make the run way too early and you're not controlling when they make the run. It just happens automatically. Now, this year, there's 2 improvements to that. 1, you can make the runs when they want to by clicking the analog stick. And 2, they're going to make smarter runs, especially if you have the better players like Aguero or Ronaldo and players like that.
Runs. You'll be rewarded for flexing your creativity and control in FIFA 21. And there's much more to come in career modes and FIFA Ultimate Team.
All right, that is the trailer right there. And we've got some good things there. I think the trailer is really pushing things in the right direction. Everything that was mentioned in that video, in that trailer, for the most part, was really, really good and moving FIFA in the right direction. Just with my critical eye, I always am looking for the things that they could mess up, make imbalanced, or, you know, just some flaws that I'm anticipating, because in the last few FIFAs, they've promised similar things, maybe similar type things, not the same things, but when they introduce them, it is working, but it creates another problem that they haven't addressed and they haven't fixed and don't fix throughout the year for the most part. And that's what's made FIFA 19 and FIFA 20 so bad, was the fact that when they introduce something new, it breaks something else. So I'm trying to anticipate what could be the imbalance with it. But overall, I'm very happy with this trailer. It is promising. It has potential. But EA never disappoint to make us disappointed, which is something I've noticed. Hopefully they get it right this year, and I'm looking forward to it. As always, the beginning of FIFA is always super fun. Throughout the next couple of weeks, we're going to have pro clubs, we're going to have career mode, we're going to have ultimate team trailers and information coming out for us, which is going to be very, very exciting, especially as we get to the ultimate team. And the vice president at EA has actually hinted towards the fact that career mode was one of their bigger focuses. So if you're a career mode guy, that's something to keep an eye out for. Thank you guys so much for watching today. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.